Have you ever shot on film? Maybe a bit like me, you know, spring chicken, and you shot film all those years ago the first time round, and maybe like me, you've revisited film. Well, today I'm going to talk about how shooting film again has made me really appreciate digital photography as well, and it's actually stopped me hankering after new gear. My name's Paul Reed. Welcome to the channel. I really do love shooting on film, and I love shooting on my M6. I've got various other film cameras that I've kind of collected over the years. There's some cameras that I wish I'd never sold way back in the day. My Pentax 6.7 and my Mamiya RB 6.7. So there's some regrets there, but I have kept a number of film cameras and I do return to it from time to time. I love the look of it. I love the fact that, you know, it is grain, and whenever you really kind of punch in on a film photograph, punch in on the negative, it's all grain that you're getting. There's no kind of digital artifacts or anything. It's amazing, and I love the feel of it. It definitely, you know, has its own look. The thing is though, I just can't shoot film all the time. I haven't got time to shoot film all the time, and also I know that there's some shots that I would miss if I didn't have digital photography now. Now I know that film does make you a better photographer because it slows you down, and look, when I'm out there using my Leica M6, the decisive moment might not be the best moment, so it's my decisive moment, and then I'll take the picture with the M6, and then the moment happens just afterwards and I'm still winding that film on and I've missed this other perfect moment. You know, digital technology, it really is great. What we've got today is incredible, that we can really capture all those moments. I've got a Leica Q3 Monochrome, as a lot of people know, and this is kind of like it's like my everyday carry camera, and this is a camera that is really high spec. You know, it's like 60 megapixels, a monochrome sensor, and it's got autofocus. It's got, you know, all the bells and whistles that I would ever need. So this camera, I know, will capture anything, and never mind the moment that I thought was the decisive moment. I'll sometimes, you know, shoot a few shots when I think the decisive moment is, and it's normally going to capture those moments afterwards. I just haven't got time to be shooting film all the time. It's really a decision sometimes when I go out there and shoot film, and it does, you know, pulls me away from digital, because sometimes everything just seems too digital, and it feels good to get away from that sometimes and shoot film. But I haven't got time to do all the after work. Now, for me, if I develop the films myself and I scan the films myself, and that can take like a day for me to do all that. If I've got a few films, then it's going to take me a day to, you know, develop those films and scan them. Why am I developing and scanning stuff myself? It's not to do with cost, and I know that if you send your films off, then it costs a bit more. It's not because of that though. The reason is because every time I do that, I get those scans back and they're just not fantastic, and I think sometimes what it is they're just not developing the films the way that I want them to be developed, or maybe they're just not scanning them the way that I want. Either way, they're not doing it how I want them to be done. So I'm very hands-on with my film. Every time I watch a video with some of these young guys who are shooting film, and then I see the photographs, and they just don't look good. They look awful, and straight away I think, oh, I'm not shooting film, because whenever you look at those photographs, there's something not quite right. Listen, film photography never looked bad back in the day. It looked good. Even 35mm film looked good. So it still should look good today, but it needs to be developed properly and it needs to be scanned properly. Otherwise, it's just not going to look great. The other thing as well is some people just aren't exposing their film correctly. So don't underexpose film. You know, some of these guys are really underexposing that film. And if you underexpose it a lot, then whenever you try to get the best out of that film afterwards, it looks more like a photocopy than a photograph. That's how bad it can look if you underexpose it. The other reason why film can look bad is just because the film itself isn't very good. Again, there's so many film brands out there at the moment, and there's people, you know, respooling films and all sorts of things, but not all film is good. I'll tell you one brand that I hate. It's Fomapan, because it's just trash. It's cheaper, but it's just not good. Unfortunately, you know, like Kodak have got some fantastic films. Now, TRIX for me is just amazing. Developed correctly again, because I've seen TRIX and I've seen scans of TRIX and it's just like so grainy, it's ridiculous. So developed correctly, TRIX is just a wonderful film, and so are a number of other Kodak films as well. Look, I've shot on Portra 160, looks fantastic. I've shot on Portra 400, Portra 800, Cinestill 800T is fantastic for a certain look. And also Cinestill, I think it's BWXX or something like that. That's another great film that gives a great look. They all give, you know, different looks, and obviously some of them are colour, but they shouldn't look bad. And Kodak do some great films, Cinestill do some great films, and there's other brands out there as well, but there's also some bad brands. So anyway, that aside, what is it about shooting film that has really made me appreciate digital photography? Obviously, I shoot with a very modern digital camera at times, the Leica Q3 Monochrome, and you know, that's like on this whole other level of this crispness, and there isn't a lot of noise in there or grain, and sometimes I do kind of crave that feeling of, you know, maybe just a more organic feeling to the images. And of course you could just shoot the Q3 monochrome at a really high ISO, and that noise is really grain like. It actually gives it an organic feel. So that's one way to achieve that. But I know that if the Q3 monochrome ceased to exist tomorrow, if somebody stole it, or I've got cameras, that older cameras, much older cameras, that I could get amazing portraits, amazing images using. The only thing that more modern digital cameras have got over, say, a digital camera from like 20 years ago is that they're just easier to use. Now, obviously, not all digital cameras 20 years ago were any good. Some of them were, you know, pretty bad. But one camera that I still use today is the Canon 5D Mark II. I think this is 21 years old, this camera. Now, this is full frame. I think is it 24 megapixel or something like that? Whatever it is, this is a fantastic camera. Now, this can be picked up for, like, I think I spent about £200 on this with a 50mm 1.8, which, you know, is a great portrait setup, and it gives its own look as well. And as long as you expose those images correctly, and then this starts to get in that kind of thing a bit like film. If you expose your film correctly, you know, that's going to be great. If you expose on a 5D Mark II, then it's going to be great. The other Leica that I use is a Leica M240, and that is, it must be 10 years old or something, the Leica M240. Now, nothing really has improved over time with Leica M bodies, apart from the EV1. That's, you know, a completely different thing. But they're all rangefinders, and so there's no autofocus getting better. So you could pretty much get any Leica M mount digital camera, and you're going to get great photos out of all of them. Like I say, as things moved on with digital, you know, you're getting this increasing dynamic range, so you can make more mistakes. There's more megapixels, but to be honest, you know, if you kind of did like for like with some early M mount digital cameras to film, you're going to get a very similar sort of result with the same sort of ISO to film speed. So if you shot, let's say the M9 at ISO 400, you're probably going to get similar results from 400 ISO film. So what it has kind of really taught me is to stop hankering after all this new gear. I think we've got to a point now with gear where it's reached this point where we don't need anything more. We don't need the next new thing. And I think this is going to really help us all just concentrate on our photography rather than just always thinking about the next new camera that comes out. I know I'm the same as you, especially us Leica people who just keep seeing these shiny new cameras come out. But even with Leica, there's a lot of Leica photographers that have kind of stuck with something a long time ago. There's a lot of Leica photographers that have just stuck with their M10. Some Leica photographers say that the M10R was, you know, the peak of Leica digital, and they've never moved on since then. Whatever, I'm telling you that if you go back and shoot film for a bit, and forget all this pixel peeping, because it's all about the final image. It's all about the print. And if you print up your film photographs, and I've printed film photographs 35mm up to 20 by 30 inches, and they look fantastic. There isn't even a lot of grain in this photograph. So that was shot on Portra 160. So yeah, it's a low, you know, it's a low film speed, but at the same time, I've blown that up so big, and it's just fantastic. I'm going to be shooting a lot more film this year. I've got loads in the fridge. I need to get into it, and I do love the process. I know there's people who think, well, they did it the first time round and they would never return to film, but I honestly think that film and digital do complement each other. I think, you know, it gives you a break from digital, and then, you know, then you start appreciating digital more when you've been shooting film for a while. I'm going to be, you know, developing my films with this Argo film processor, and I'll dig out a discount code for this because I am an affiliate for them, and it really does give like consistent results to your films. All of the, you know, the films are all, you know, in there, and you just select which film that you want, and it, you know, it develops them, it keeps them, you know, it keeps all the temperatures right and everything. I'm a terribly messy developer, so that was, you know, that was a lifesaver for me. It really made it a more pleasant experience. I've normally got chemicals going up my sleeves and everything whenever I'm, you know, tipping the tub up and down. And look, hey, pick up one of these Canon 5D Mark IIs and a 50mm 1.8 lens if you fancy something a bit different, because again, it does give a different look. It's good, eh? So thanks for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you next time.